Hello, what is up? And we are back, and we're going to try to get this engine bloody well finished up. It's just a few last things to do, I think. A starter. I know we had a few other things, a couple hoses, battery cables, okay, but not too much. And if I'm missing something, just let me know and we'll get it too, but I think that's it for now. But I am just going to, out of edit mode, grab this car just for now and just drag it up out of the way. It'll be easy enough to put back, but just for we can have a little bit of room to work, okay? We're not so crowded in here. So let's make our piece, I guess we'll start off with. Shift A, go ahead and make a cylinder. And we're going to make a starter, and I'm going to try to think about other things that we are needing that I'm forgetting. An air box, maybe. And nobody said anything in the comments, so either I'm the only one who knows anything about engines, or you guys haven't noticed anything I've missed, I'll assume. So that's probably a good thing. So I'm just going to Shift D. Make this in two pieces just to give it a little bit of texture and contrast. So I'm just going to shrink that a little bit like that. Okay, and then we're going to Shift D again. I don't know how exactly we're going to do this, but we're going to make this look like a starter. Has to be all like geary. Let's try this. Let's try grabbing every other one. And I don't know that this is going to work. We're going to experiment, but we're just going to try to find a way to kind of make this look like it has gears, even if it's just a little bit. Just grabbing every second one, okay guys? And hopefully we got this right. Looks right. And then push S and just shrink it. And it should be pretty good after that. Oh no, it didn't work. I right click to cancel it. What we're going to have to do is switch to lines. Okay, and then try every second line, I guess. See if this works. I don't know if it will or not. Hopefully, we need to make a gear look. The only way I can think to do it is to bool a shape out of this. And it's going to be kind of hard to line every one of them up, but we'll figure a way if we can't figure this out. That's too close. Hopefully this works out. We'll probably find out if we messed up, because then it won't work out. Alright, and then Control B. No, sorry, S. There we go. Perfect, guys. That's what we wanted. It's a little spiky up and down, but I think it'll do the job, right? If we really want, we could go to scale and just try to move them out like that. And that should make it more flat. And that's more of the look we want to get. But that actually worked really well. I'm going to have to remember that one. I've never tried that before. So we're going to take this one and we're just going to go S. Nope. We're going to stretch it out this way, then S shrink it. And stretch it out a bit and S shrink it a lot. Okay. Something like that, right? And then we're going to Shift D, because we're going to need that piece again. So then we're going to minus this from this. Object difference, okay. So it's going to make it a little cleaner around the seams, for you could tell that they weren't like one piece, that there were a few pieces basically. So with these two, we'll grab this one. Should be close to the end, I imagine. Probably something like that. And like that, and we'll try shrinking them down together. Oh, that worked really well. Perfect. And we'll move it in like that, maybe? Okay, you might want to Shift D this and bool it out of that. So object, bool tool difference, okay? And then we should have our shape taken out of there now. Okay. So that works out pretty good. And maybe you want to change this just to make it look a little fancier. I don't know what I just did there. Did I change something? Yeah, there we go. Just go up to faces maybe and hit S. No, not the right look. Maybe I. Maybe E. And this might mess up the texturing for this piece a little bit, but I think it'll be fine. Do something like that maybe, just to give it some kind of look to it at all. You know what I mean? hopefully that works for you guys. I think it works for me pretty good, so I'm just going to go ahead and Control J those two. Drag this into place, and when I'm happy, maybe we'll keep going a little bit like that. Push just a hair into it, and we'll Control J. Okay, that's good enough for our starter, I think. As long as you guys are happy with that, just go ahead and move it. We're going to have to turn it around and find a place to put it. So hopefully we may have to shrink it. Let's try reverse 90. So minus 90 would be reverse. Yeah. Alright. Okay. And this is why I moved the car, because I knew it was going to be pretty tight in here. Try to put it in place as best as you can where you're going to want it. Oh, that's going to hit by the fan. Where are we going to put this? Makes more sense at the front, but let me try to find it. Let's shrink it. S. Okay. They don't need to be very big, I don't think. I think this is actually around the right size. I think that works a little better. Find a good spot for it. Okay. Make sure it's not going to get hit by anything. I think we're just going to miss the fan. I think so. If you need to. This is just a little bit out of place like that. But we can also just shrink it just the one way if we want it to be a little stubbier, just to make sure that we're not going to cause any issues if you actually have that moving in your game. Right. So if you're happy with that, maybe we will Shift D, and we hope that there's nothing attached to the engine that's going to stop us from booleaning the engine. Okay, let's try it. Object difference. Ooh, yeah, we had a problem. So we will undo that. Okay. So I can try it one other way, but we're probably not going to be able to do it. I think we've just taken too many parts out. Stuff like that. But let's go look at the adjuster and see what we can do. So none of those are going to solve it for us, hopefully. Oh, there we go. Just have a look and make sure everything's right, because sometimes you won't see something missing. Let's make sure that works for you. Make sure there's nothing missing. Wait, is the engine upside down? Am I upside down? How did I get upside down? Oh, okay, there we go, I think we're okay. It doesn't look like there's anything else missing from the engine. So I'm going to say that's alright. Go ahead and apply it if that's the situation you're in. Okay. Now let's just erase this and move our piece out to make sure it actually booled a hole. Yep. So now that'll fit perfectly in there. If you wanted to add a mount, you would just add a plate on either side, and we'll put some screws in it. I guess we can give an example, right? A weird position here. Sorry, guys. So Shift A if you're in the right mode. Move this by out here. That's a guy. That's what we need. I'm not going to move it sideways because we need to keep it into place. So just shrink it a lot like that. Make it thin. Okay. Something like that. Maybe a little thinner this way. And we will grab it and we'll drag it down and let's just do something like this and like that, and we will Shift D it and do the same on the bottom. Okay. When you're happy with its positioning, as long as it's perfectly even, not leaving a gap, then you can grab the piece in the middle with the other two first, and J, making sure this is the last piece you join to for it's your control point. Okay, and now we just need two screws, so we'll steal one from over here. We'll just Shift D it, for we don't have to make a whole new one. Drag it over, drag it down, drag it over, drag it up, and we will do a 90 here instead of 180. Nope. 0. Do a 90 here. Nope. 0. There we go. Okay, move it into place. Obviously, it's not in a good place. We may have to make these two a little bit smaller. We'll see, though. Probably not going to be able to bool a hole out. Maybe we'll just separate these two pieces. Again, P selection. Okay. And then we're going to hit, go back into edit over, hit L. Make sure you don't have anything else clicked. And we're just going to separate that one as well. And the reason is we're going to pilot some holes in here. So, because if we're going to go all the way through doing all that, we might as well go ahead and put some holes in here as well, right? And then we'll reattach them after, and we'll have our screws ready, okay? Now, we're just going to grab screw, Shift D, grab the plate after, object, bool, difference, grab this, Shift D, grab the plate after, object, bool, difference, okay? Grab the, then we can make sure that we have our holes, yes, first. Oops, just going to undo that, okay? Grab that, grab that, grab that again, Control J, okay? Grab that, click off it maybe. Grab them all, and oops, okay, it's not going to take the screws with us, so that's fine. It's perfectly straight in, so it should be easy enough. And now we have a mounting system that should work. Okay? You can take your time to push it just in, just so, but we have a starter. And I would not bother trying to bool those screw holes out. And you can move it up and down if you want. Put your bottom mount on your oil pan if you want, just to get it just more in place. But I think there's just enough room to put it there, so I'm going to leave it there. Okay, so we got a starter now. What is left, guys? I do not know. A breather probably, but that's easy enough. Maybe we'll just throw that together actually. Shift A. It's going to be kind of square, right? So something like this, it's going to be by the injection, I imagine, but I don't know if it's going to be right there or on top going into the engine. I'm not really sure. Let's make ours go into our intake. I suppose that would make the most sense for us. Okay. So just going to grab those. I'm going to hit Control B. And if you know better, if you realize it doesn't go into the intake, just go ahead and change it. Not a big deal. And maybe let me know in the comments and I'll make a new one or something like that and fix it for everybody. I want to show you the right way, but I don't exactly know cars that much. I do love building them though, for some reason. So something like that anyways. This is about the shape of an airbox. It might be more of an oval shape, a bit thinner, something like that. Usually it's hollow inside. There's two sides to it, so maybe we'll Shift D just to boost that one up a bit. Alright, then take this shape, Shift D, move that one up just a hair, and S, okay? Then we'll Shift D, then we'll move that up top. We'll do the same thing, okay? So then when we put them together, there's a box in the middle, so if you want to make an air filter, there's your chance. Maybe you want this shape a little bit different first. Let's just do these first and then see if we can shape them better after. Difference without affecting our hole or the shape of our hole. Bool, difference. Okay, so the bottom one's probably fine. You probably want it pretty flat, I'd imagine. Gonna have to do something like this. Okay, maybe we'll put them both together and just flatten it a little bit, realizing that we don't. Oh, I'm so sorry. We don't need that much gap in the middle, so something like this. Together, okay, and maybe on the top one, just to make things different, go into edit mode, grab the top, Control B, just wind it down if you want, something like that, and then you can mark this middle part for a color for the label or something. Looks pretty good to me. I don't know about you guys, but you're gonna have to decide on that yourselves, and I think that's good enough for now. we will make something to fit in there, I suppose. Let's see the exact shape. It's just, we should have kept one and just used it. But we will Shift A. Okay, make a cube. Bring it on over. Grab just these edges. Okay. Control B. About the same as the last one. I can't exactly remember. It doesn't have to be exact, but you want it to be pretty close at least. Probably do our adjustments in here too, for it doesn't move our axis on us. Just get it around what we want. Okay. Kind of move it in place if you don't mind. Like so. Something like that, and then grow it a little bit. Maybe a little down that way. It looks like a lot the other way. Okay, doesn't have to be perfect. You want there to probably be a little bit of room in there. Up to you again. There's two ways we could do the next piece. We're getting told that doing extracts, it can be really damaging to texture surfaces. So I think we'll try to bool this shape out instead and see how that goes, and hopefully that's alright for you guys. So I took that shape and I just duplicated it. Just go a little bigger like that. Shrink it down until you're happy. Shift D it again. And then bool that shape up. Okay, still leaves us a piece, but there should be a hole in the middle now. So we're just going to drag this smaller this time. And that's going to be our air filter. And then we can color this a different color, or we could take it into edit mode and Control R it. Put a bunch of lines across it if we want. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to, oops, did I just undo what I did? I'm sorry. No, I didn't. It's fine. So I'm just going to grab that middle piece and grab the outer piece and then Control J. That should be one piece. I just didn't want to have any issues with the surface of it. So I'm going to use that as my air filter. You guys can do you and pause the video if you want to make your own version. I totally understand. Do something like that. Okay. Now that'll be probably it, and we'll run a pipe into the side of the intake. Maybe we'll make it bigger altogether and we'll grow them all together or something. I'm going to have to see how it goes, but you probably want to make a little side mount stand for this or something. Normally I'd say do it off of the car, but if you're going to change the car bodies all the time, you're either going to have to find a part that's interchangeable that you could put it on that works on all your cars, or you're going to have to mount it off the engine to make it make sense, basically. I'm going to go for the latter. I'm going to mount it off the engine. That's what makes sense to me, so that's what I'm going to do. Do something like that. We're going to go S. Okay. Then I'm going to shrink it up and down like this. Again, just make it look like I want it. Perfect. Okay. Before we attach anything, let's grab a bolt. Shift D. I'm just going to steal a bolt. Okay. And you're going to have to try to keep a bolt from each thing that you make, because if they're all a different size, you're going to have to keep track of that. For when you import it, you got to make sure that when the pieces come in, you import the bolts with them. I don't know if you want to attach them to your piece, what you want to do, but I'd do something like this. Okay. Maybe a little smaller on the bolt. You decide. Okay. Here we go. Looks like I'm getting busy again. I'm getting messages again. I hope you guys are having fun in this series. It's been a lot of fun for me teaching you guys, and hopefully I feel like a few of you are doing it with me, or you're just watching because you can't believe this is getting made. Either way, feel free to comment, guys. Love to hear what you're thinking, or what you think of the whole build altogether. Something like that. You can do one single one in the middle if you'd rather. Kind of feel like that makes more sense on this one. But you'd have to bool it through the middle piece, so I'm just going to leave it like this for now. We're just going to go like this, Shift D, okay? Grab that, object, bool, difference. Oh shit. Sorry about the language. Edit, undo. What happened there? 1, 2, 3, 4. Why did that happen? It's not attached to anything. Bool, difference. Why is that happening? Okay, so let's undo and try a different way. Let's try the other bool. I'm so sorry about the language. I just couldn't believe that happened, guys. Oh, yeah. Sorry about this. We're going to have to find a solution. Doesn't look like there is one either. Let's try the next one. It does not look like it. Okay, let's go back. I don't know what's going on or why that's happening, but I don't want to get to the point where we can't go back to fix it. Alright, so let's try this instead. Let's do the one bolt and see if that has the same result. Let's take the rest and delete them. Take these and delete them. Okay. Make sure that's in the middle. Do your best. Bring it up just a hair. Shift D it. Okay, so let's see if we have the same results. No, we do not. I don't know, maybe we're too close to the edge. I don't know exactly what happened there. Shift D. So you want to grab, oh, this is going to be difficult. Let's just move this out of the way. So I want to grab this, and then that. So I got the right piece? No. This, then that. Object, bool, hopefully this goes alright. It did not. So that one has a piece attached to it, so I more expected it to have an issue. Usually you don't have an issue. Let's try that difference, and then we'll try the solvers. Nope, that's definitely not the solver. I think that is the solver there. I think we have it. Let's apply and see what we got. That one's more of like a safety one, and you can apply some different solvers to fix the issue. So it looks like we got it that time. So we're good this time. The part should be good to go. Got our screw hole, and we've got a screw still there, so I'm going to say it's good. We need a mount on the bottom. Again, you better not put any screws. Maybe make it a solid mount, as you've seen. So maybe we'll just do that real quick, and we'll end the video. Alright. What do I need? I added a bunch of extra pieces. One of my new friends, I want to call him a friend, named, what the heck is his name? I can't remember any. I don't want to say it wrong, so I'm not going to say it, but he's been teaching me quite a bit about Blender and just some new tricks to show you guys and everything. So I really appreciate all the help. If you guys have any tips or you think you have a different way, I want to get better too, so I'm not going to be too offended. Oh, alright. Squishy wishy. Something like that. How do we want to do this? Maybe we'll just angle this piece to go into the side of our intake, and we'll just look like make it mount. It look like it mounts there. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know what's best, but that's what we're gonna do, I think. So I'll probably move it just a hair up, so that's into the frame, just like this, probably. And then I guess we could just do that too, right? If we wanted, we could put some screws from the top side down. I bet you that would work. Let's do that. Actually, that makes more sense, I think. Attach it to... Ooh. As I'm like, I'm going to attach it to something. Let's do that for a minute. Let's see what happens when we try to attach it to something. Maybe we move that out just a hair, like that. See about the screw, if it's in there enough. Gonna have to kind of size it side to side. I have to do some smaller ones here. Okay. Get them in place. I think we're a little bit off. It's getting really hard to see because everything's getting so small, right? Alright, I think we're in place. Get the idea. If I'm not, you get yours in place perfectly. trying to do this quickly without taking too much time, but it's hard. Shift D it. Why is that not working? Shift D. Oh God, am I leaving them in there? Yes. It was working, I just couldn't see them. Oh my God, how many are there? So anyway, something like this. Make sure you're out of the frame. Make sure you're into that frame. And when you are, oh my God, starting to grab everything now. And you're evenly deep on the screw holes. Grab both. Grab that. Let's try to bool it. See what happens. Bool. Oh, we need to copy those two first, actually, with Shift D. Ha ha ha. Object, bool, difference. Okay, hopefully this has a hole in it. Let's pull it up. Yeah, it does. So we'll take those two and we will duplicate them. Shift D. We will grab, sorry. Let's undo that last click we can just grab this one and we will bool that difference. Okay. And now we should have two screws mounting that into there. Okay. Perfectly. Hopefully. Okay, so that's mounted as well. Just want to just make sure I didn't leave any extra screws in there. So I guess we'll pull this down. Did we just take the screw and not replace it? Boop. Ah, boy. I don't know why I would do that. Looks like that got bumped over too. Alright, so we're going to have to steal another screw, it looks like, from there. You get in place, just shrink it the one way. Shouldn't be too big of a deal. Make sure it fits inside. Okay. Something like that, maybe. Looks like I went right through with it. Okay, perfect. Okay, so we're done that now. We got our starter, we got our breather. Could probably do some shocks. I know we need to do that on before we go put this thing together, but a couple rad hoses. We need to run a hose into, so we'll do hoses next time, I'd imagine. We need to run a hose into from the airbox into here or into the engine. Maybe I'll try to look it up and see where it's supposed to go. I don't know. I know what a carburetor would go to, but I know you have to hook air up into the carburetor, but I do not know. I guess more modern engines that well. I'm kind of older. I don't know if you guys have noticed or not. Just kind of older, not that older. Don't worry. Don't worry. Okay, so hopefully you guys join me next time. Hopefully you've had a great time, and we've got a little more done. We don't have too much more left. I think I have a better way to do the exhaust, so we may redo that. I'll leave that up to you guys. Maybe I'll do it at the very end in case you don't want to redo it. Okay? Alright, so we'll catch you next time, and remember there's a link to my game below, Fishton, A Town to Remember. If you have been seeing it's getting a lot of attention lately, people are really enjoying it, and I'm sure you will too. So check it out if you like, and thumbs up, subscribe, we'll see you next time.